What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Am I the Butthole? And if you'd like to skip that initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along a timeline below as always. Yesterday we did have some member updates which I want to get through. So we'll start off with, over on Patreon, we had Clyde the Hobo. Thank you so much. On YouTube, we had Anita Gabriel, Darkly Angelic with the upgrade, Helen Borland with a rejoin, and V-Min with a rejoin as well. Thank you so much for doing you and joining up with the channel. I cannot tell you how much of a difference it does make. If you'd like to do the same, you can click that join button down below or the link in the description and join up through Patreon. There is my shameless plug for today, and let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Bacon Cheesecake. Sounds delicious. Am I the arsehole for holding my parental rights over my daughter? So my 49 male daughter got pregnant when she was 18. She didn't want a kid, especially not that young. So after some serious talk, I said I would take in her child. But she said she didn't want any responsibility for the child, so ended up signing away her parental rights, and I adopted her child as soon as he was born. She went off and finished college, travelled, and I fully supported her. My son, my daughter's child, but I will be calling him my son, is now 16 and is an amazing kid. And my daughter has barely come seen him. And if she does come around, she just ignores him. He knows that she is his bio mother, but after a few failed reconnection attempts when he was younger, he's given up on a relationship with her. These last few weeks, a few things have happened. My daughter got engaged to a long-term boyfriend. My son came out to me. I fully support him. My son also won a small local skating competition. He's been skating since he was 9 and loves it. It's his preferred mode of transport, and he is known by the local skating community and skate shop. When my daughter got engaged, she said she didn't want any secrets, so told her fiance that she has a child, but that I have adopted him. His kids, I'm not sure age, but they are young, not understanding that my daughter and my son are estranged, wanted to meet their new brother. Even after days of refusing and kid-friendly explanations, they didn't give up, so they brought the kids to meet my son. My son was friendly with the kids and their dad, and civil with my daughter. My son and the kids went off to play, and my daughter and her fiance sat with me to talk. After a while, the fiance noticed my son's trophy on a shelf and asked about it. When I explained, he looked interested, but my daughter looked horrified. She sent her fiance to check on the kids, then asked me what I was doing, letting him do something so dangerous. She said that skateboarding was for delinquents, and that as his mother, she doesn't want him skating anymore. When she said mother, I have to admit I did laugh. I reminded her that I had parental rights over him and that she has no say. She was clearly upset by this and called me cruel, saying that she was a child when she got pregnant and that she's a different person now, and is even trying for a child with her fiance. I told her that doesn't matter and that my son is my son. She then got really upset and grabbed her fiance and his kids and left. At first, I didn't think I was in the wrong, but now that I think about it, I might have been rude to laugh and hold my parental rights over her head like that. These past weeks have been emotional, so maybe I overreacted. So, am I the arsehole? Hell no, not the arsehole. And did anyone see the Olympics the other day? The 3 teenage girls who won the women's Olympic skateboarding. 13 years old the girl was that got gold, and it was amazing to watch. The skills this girl had, I thought, jeez, I wish I could have done that. I wish I practiced to do something like that when I was younger. Absolutely not the arsehole for encouraging a skill like that to allow someone to express themselves in that way. I think it's fantastic. You're a fantastic dad to this boy, and you're totally right. She has no say. She's not his mother. She's just the person that brought him on this earth, and that's about it. And Cake is a dice is not the arsehole. She is a birth mum. She's not a mummy. You are the parent and you corrected her rightfully. Also, 49, your age, 18, your daughter's age when pregnant, 16, your son's age, equals 15 when you fathered your daughter. And MM172 says not the arsehole. Last I checked, it's pretty difficult to get someone pregnant in the middle of a skateboarding competition. So yeah, she doesn't have much ground to stand on when it comes to complaining about his activities or what constitutes delinquency. And Johnny Passander quotes saying, "Last I checked, it's pretty difficult to get someone pregnant in the middle of a skateboarding competition." Johnny says, "Challenge accepted." And Blacksmith Motor says, "Not the arsehole. Skateboarding is an Olympic sport for crying out loud. Also, do you mean you're 49 now or 39 when you took your son in?" OP replies, "I'm currently 49. Sorry for any confusion." Blacksmith then replies again saying, "So your daughter was born when you were 15, and you still raised her and fought to have a relationship with her. But then when she was 18, 3 years older than you were, she washed the hands of her own child. Definitely not the arsehole. Too bad your parenting skills weren't inherited by her though." And one more from Iola79 who says, "Not the arsehole. You adopted him, right? That means legally he is her brother and your son. That's what adoption is. It's not temporary." Now, what do you guys make of this story? I know we've seen it time and time again on this subreddit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Throwaway Hubs 3. "Am I the arsehole for losing it after my husband ate from the lasagna I prepared for my niece's birthday? My niece's 13th birthday was last Wednesday. She's the most intelligent, most creative kid in the family. She loves her aunties, me, lasagna, and says it's to die for. For her birthday, she asked that I make her lasagna because she loves it so much, and having it will complete her happy day. I agreed with no hesitation. The day before her birthday, I got to work. I went shopping for ingredients and spent hours in the kitchen to prepare it. At 3 p.m, my husband got home, had lunch, then opened the fridge to grab a drink and saw the lasagna. He asked about it and I answered this lasagna was made for my niece's birthday. I told him I made family-sized portion so we could all eat together at my parents' house. He was like, "Oh, really?" I asked him please not to touch it and he said he won't. He fell asleep on the couch after checking his phone as I went upstairs to get stuff done. At 4 p.m, I came downstairs to wake him up to go to my parents and found him already sitting up with a plate in hand. I looked closer and saw he took a piece of the lasagna and ate it. I looked at him and asked, "Are you okay? Hungry?" While offering leftovers from his plate, I lost it on him and asked why he touched the lasagna when I already warned against touching it since it was for my niece's party. He said, "I woke up feeling hungry." Okay, but he already had lunch and other snacks available in the fridge. He replied he really wanted to get a piece and couldn't wait till we got to my parents and reminded me that he loses his appetite at my parents' house. I called him unbelievable because he ruined how the lasagna looked when he cut the middle of it and messed it up like a kid, I assume. I spent time, money, effort on it and he casually said no big deal, but to me it is, especially since I told him this was for my niece's party. He said I was overreacting and needed to chill because he was hungry and it's not like he ate the whole thing, and then suggested I stop by the supermarket and grab one if it's that important, as he quoted with his fingers. We got into an argument over this and he ended up not going, saying it's because of how I treated him over lasagna. When I got home, he kept giving me the cold shoulder. Didn't even ask how things went after what he did. My husband has ADHD, but normally understands when I ask him to leave stuff alone. He also loves food and his favourite is lasagna. While there was no harm with him taking a piece, I just lost my temper, which is a bad thing. Now this one's a clear not the arsehole to me, simply because, the man can't control himself. He ate food, you asked him not to, and he still went ahead and done it anyway. And I just think, it's one of the ones again that goes, what goes through their mind? You've been told not to, and you think, oh, but I am hungry, so I'm going to take a piece of that niece's lasagna that's for her birthday, a 13-year-old, which you've been told has been made especially for her birthday. You're going to get a piece anyway. Oh, not the arsehole, absolutely not. And the cheeky bastard gives you the cold shoulder as well when you get home. Not sure if I'd be putting up with that, but hey, let's check out some of the comments to see what they say. With Christy Boo who says, not the arsehole. I can't even work out your husband's train of thought in this one. Sounds like he's just an entitled arsehole who wanted lasagna and didn't give a fuck about your time or your niece's happiness. I'd have lost my cool too. Probably not the most mature way to handle a dispute, but in the moment, being disrespected like that would make me really lose my cool. And Kaleidoscope Eye says, not the arsehole, but these stories always make me really sad to read. I would honestly rather be alone forever than marry a man who treated me this way. Calm Mess says, not the arsehole. This type of entitled nonsense blows my mind. Your husband has less self-control than a 5-year-old. The Willow Witch says ADHD doesn't mean you can just do whatever and not get blamed. Your husband completely disregarded what you said and was disrespectful to you. Just because it's not important to him doesn't mean it's not important. Not the arsehole, and your husband is absolutely one. Carl Drog says not the arsehole, and I'm very curious if he frequently sabotages things that are important to you. Is he always this selfish and inconsiderate, or does he only act up when your family is involved? Edited to add, as someone with ADHD, it does not prevent me from understanding that if someone asks me not to eat something, I should not eat it. Electronic Bet replies to this saying husband loses appetite around her family, so decided to deliberately ruin the lasagna she told him she had prepared specifically for the 13-year-old niece's birthday. Add jealous to selfish and inconsiderate. This behavior is crazy in a grown man, and an incident like this is actually no small thing. OP's husband's animosity toward her family is real and becoming more manifest. There's deeper trouble here. Now, what do you guys make of this one? What would you do if you made like a cake or some food or something for your like niece's, nephew's birthday, and then your partner went and ate it behind your back, even though you told him not to? How would you feel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Am I the Arsehole Daughter Mad? Am I the arsehole for giving my daughter grief every time she goes out with her friends? Anonymous account for obvious reasons. My daughter and I have been arguing over this for weeks now, and I just really want some unbiased opinions. My daughter, 20, has recently reconnected with one of our high school friends, who then introduced her to his group of friends, and now she's a part of the group and hangs out with them pretty regularly. We moved into a new country 4 years ago, and my daughter has a lot of trouble making friends because there were a lot of personal issues in our home life, and it took a toll on her mental health. She would not feel motivated or happy enough to go out with us, me and her siblings, continuously locked herself in her room for days, only did online classes due to COVID, and would not participate with me on road trips to different cities in the country we live in. She was just very shut in and didn't have much friends. But ever since she met these people, she's like a different person now. She is joining the gym with them, even when on road trips with them. Every time they call her, no matter what time it is, to hang out, she immediately jumps on the opportunity, and I end up fighting with her about it because I feel like she's like a lost puppy just following them around and too afraid to say no to them, even though she insists that she does actually want to go. I just don't understand how she is so motivated and happy to hang out with them, but when I try to get her to hang out with me and do all these stuff she's doing with them, but with me, she refuses. Which brings me to a couple of days ago, when she was on her period and I could see she was very tired. They called her at 7 PM and invited her out with them, and she immediately got dressed and wanted to go. I told her to stop being such a puppy to them and say no if she can't. She told me she's endured me for a while and wants me to stop giving her grief every time she wants to hang out with her friends. I personally don't think I'm the arsehole because it's like this whole different person, and I'm scared they're influencing her to do something completely out of character. Am I the arsehole? And there's a couple of edits which replies to the comments, so we'll cover those after the comments, but my initial thoughts is like he was complaining about her initial character and, you know, she's being shut away and shutting herself away, and the first couple of paragraphs you explain this sort of in a negative light, being shut away and not feeling motivated and just like shutting herself away. So it sounds like you didn't like her character before, and then she completely switched her character around when she met some people which sounds like she likes, but you dislike this character too, so she doesn't really. What do you want from her? You know, it sounds like you're just jealous because she's going out with other people, and that's the way it kind of feels to me. Because you didn't like her at first when she was shut away, then she met some friends and she is going out all the time, and she goes out whenever she has the opportunity, but now you're complaining that because she won't go out with you, you don't like it. So she can't win. But Organic says you're the arsehole. Sounds like you can't stand the fact your daughter doesn't want to be friends with you, her mother. Just let her be and have a normal life for a 20-year-old. Mercury Jellyfish says you're the arsehole. It sounds to me like you are personally affronted that your daughter has found people that she enjoys spending time with, and those people are not you. While I do not personally have periods, enough of my friends do that I know being on your period is no reason to sequester your life in the house. If she's a little tired and perhaps in some pain with it, I'm sure her friends understand and make allowances. She may seem like a whole different person to you. She probably was this person all along but had no way of expressing herself. And PLY says, you're the arsehole. Has it ever occurred to you that your daughter wants to hang out with friends her own age and not her mother? Do you think that harassing her and calling her names when she tries to socialize is going to make her suddenly agree with you? I think you'll find your behavior is far more likely to push her away from you and more towards her friends. At 20 years old, she's an adult. Maybe she is naive and too easily influenced, but she's got to learn these lessons her own way. You need to back off. Thread Herring says, you're the arsehole. Grow up. You're mad your daughter has friends. Have you ever considered that you might be the reason she doesn't want to do things with you? Give her space. She's 20. Get your own friends and let all of your children have their own lives. Odd Meat says, you're the arsehole. Be happy she is finally enjoying her life instead of being locked up, and I can see why she doesn't want to spend time with you. You think this behavior is normal and keep trying to guilt trip her. Then quote, she insists that she does want to go. Then says, so accept that and stop bothering her. And one more comment from PKB who says, you're the arsehole. You've acknowledged that she was reclusive and unhappy before, but now she's finally enjoying herself. You think it's not of her own volition. Let her do what she wants. There's one thing parents don't realize is that the more you try to control your kids, primarily when they're transitioning to adulthood, the more they will withdraw from you. It's like trying to grip water in your hand. Rather than fighting her, support her. Let her know you're there for her if she needs. Let her come to you instead of trying to make her come to you. Making her do things such as telling her to go on road trips when she doesn't want to is not going to help your relationship with her. Yes, you're a parent and you have the right to be worried, but unless she comes home well into midnight daily, fully drunk or passed out or something, then you should let her enjoy herself. Now, we're going to move on to those edits to see what they say. Edit, I can't believe the amount of hateful messages I received. Do you guys have nothing better than insulting someone you don't know? It's clear you guys aren't parents and have no clue of the first thing it takes to raise children. Edit 2, since many of you are asking, her father and I split up 3 years ago because he cheated on me and we divorced. We fought a lot prior and we had a toxic relationship and the cheating was the icing on the cake. My ex-husband moved back to his country and we remained in the new one, and that's why my daughter's mental health was shit. My children and their father are Muslims and Middle Eastern. I'm from the US. Now, what do you guys make of this story and today's collection of stories? What are your thoughts? What are your verdicts? If you choose to share them, never any pressure though either. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for being involved in the channel today. Taking 20 minutes or so out of your day to spend it with me is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can, but as always, there's never any pressure to do so either. But you can click that join button down below for YouTube, or click the link in the description. It's a link tree, and then you will see Patreon in there. Click Patreon and you can join up there as well. Thank you so much for your love, time and support, and I will see you, you cheeky so-and-so, in the next one. Take care guys, much love.